Hello, boils and ghouls. It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And I want to welcome my good fiends of the Horror Heals podcast. Is horror good for mental wellness? But of course it is.
Hey everyone, welcome to Horror Heals. I'm Corey. And this week we're talking with horror host, haunt fanatic, and all-around horror community superfan, Spooky Kisses. This episode goes all over the place in the best possible way. We talk about haunted attractions, horror conventions, scare actors, creepy abandoned places, trying to secretly watch The Exorcist as kids, and somehow end up discussing grave robbers and one very memorable family photo with the one and only Kane Hodder, which honestly feels pretty on brand for the podcast at this point. We also spent a lot of time talking about haunted attractions, including Pennhurst Asylum, Haunted Overload, and The Darkness, which brought back a ton of memories for me because I actually worked at The Darkness years ago during my journalism days back in St. Louis. There's a lot of laughing and silliness in this one, a lot of horror nerding out, and really, it just felt like hanging out with somebody who completely understands why horror people are the way we are. Here's part one with Spooky Kisses. Hey, Spooky Kisses. Welcome to the podcast.
Let me ask you guys, how did you get interested in horror and everything?
Into horror? Lifelong fan. Both of us were, when we were little kids, were crawling down the hallway because when The Exorcist first aired on TV, the TV version, we were intrigued. Kendall was intrigued to watch it sneakily. My mom was watching it, I remember, by herself. And I didn't even get a glimpse of the TV. I was just on the hallway just enough where she couldn't see me. But I could hear, and this is the exorcism scene, right? So it's it's the sound of the movie is amazing. And I'm sure I gasped or made some sort of noise and she found out. Same thing with Kendall. Yeah. He was behind the couch.
Yeah.
I got a similar story like that because I wasn't allowed to watch it. And it was on TV, same thing. And of course, you're not allowed to watch it. And so you sneak. And then same thing. I had nightmares forever because I was probably, I was younger than her, but still a young girl, right? So yeah, totally could relate to that story.
My dad was always a huge horror fan. And so when he was telling me that this was coming out, I was like, oh, I want to see that. He's like, no. That's not going to happen. Your mother will lose her shit no, that's not going to happen. So of course that just intrigued me that much more.
You guys' favorite horror movie now?
You know how it fluctuates, but our safe is The Exorcist
for sure.
And I don't think just because of how much that we loved it, or just when we were so exposed to it as little kids. I mean, we literally have an Exorcist shrine in our breakfast nook.
No way.
Yep, right now, I'll send you a photo of it.
Yes,
One of the very first interviews I ever did as a journalist was with Linda Blair. And this was back in the day when it was like pre-horror conventions and stuff like that. So she was coming into St. Louis to promote a haunted attraction there. St. Louis, for a time, was one of the top cities in the country for horror attractions.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of fun.
And they still have some amazing ones there. So I don't know if you ever get the opportunity during Halloween season, Spooky, to check it out. It's the Darkness Haunted theme park will blow your damn mind.
That's what, this season we might hit Ohio and do all the ones there. Okay. We still have 12 that need to be edited for season 3. So season 1 and season 2 are on Amazon, and they're also on Screenbox. And season 3, we're hoping to get an exclusive. So we've been trying really hard to be, I don't want to say real, but get a real thing. I mean, we went to a convention for reality TV, but not really reality. We went to it and everybody was interested, but they didn't really want it because it's seasonal and also it's horror. So it's funny horror. But they were like, we don't know where to put you. We don't know where to put this. It's like, is this heavy metal? Like, that's what.
We're going to know soon enough because you know as well as we do how the horror is back in the mainstream.
I actually think, I'm not so much, I'm in like you guys, I'm assuming, because you said you like The Exorcist. Now I really like a story. I like more Rosemary's Baby. I love that's one of my favorites. Or like The Shining, kind of real creepy, but I really love Terrifier 3, even how gory it was and everything. I really did love it. I thought it was really good. Yeah. It's really good.
What
really
Damien Leone has been able to do, a small budget, and new budgets have gotten a little bit bigger as the films have gone on. The practical effects are like he should have been nominated for an Oscar for the makeup and stuff too. And he has promised to be on the podcast, so hopefully we'll get him on.
I want to be in it. Terrifier 5 maybe, But I want to die at the beginning because I can't take the scariness. Or we'll die right away. Just kill me off right away.
You saying you would just watch your scene and not, and then
Yeah, that's it. And it goes on to the whole movie. That's what I think should happen. Well,
I don't know how he's going to up the ante for kills for this one. It
was really, really, I can't get my husband to watch it.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
I can't. I keep saying, "Come on, you got to see it. Come on." What? Go ahead. Sorry. You go.
I'm sorry. I interrupted.
No, you go.
He said.
Oh yeah, he just won't watch it. Like he's not really super. The funny thing about him is he respects like horror and stuff, but he really likes thrillers more, and he's like not as much into it as I am, or into different gory, gross things. Like he won't go to graveyard. We were in New Orleans, and he was like, "I don't really want to walk around a hot cemetery. Let's do it."
Yeah,
we did our photo shoot for this podcast at an abandoned insane asylum.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Which one?
It was it's not too far from us. It's about an hour north of here. I can't remember.
I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Have you guys been to Pennhurst Asylum in Pennsylvania?
No.
You got to go because that was one of our first shows. It was the first one we put out, and they hardly let anybody film in there. They didn't really want to, but they let us. And I think it came out pretty good for a first one. I heard a story. You guys got to go if you're going to go fast, because I heard that they're trying to put one of those computer thingies there. Data
AI, like chip factory or something. Or data center. The data center, yeah.
But you have to go, and this is why. Even if you don't go to the scary attraction, right? Just the feeling in there is so spooky and so gross. And it's like, you guys have to check it out.
I love it.
Because before they close, I think they might close, but hopefully they're fighting it, so maybe they won't.
Maybe. Yeah.
Kendall is, he's a skeptic, does not believe in any of that stuff.
No.
I'm a little bit more open to it. And it might be because I spent the first chunk of my career in a town right outside of St. Louis called Alton, Illinois, which is considered one of the most haunted small towns in the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I had an experience in the McPike Mansion when it was just me and the owner because it was dilapidated. But we were down in the coal cellar, and I swear to God, we're the only two people in there. Somebody grabbed my shoulder.
God.
Grabbed my shoulder.
But nothing's ever grabbed you before, so that's why you don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm good. Till it happens to me, I'm like,
once it happens to you, then you'll be like,
then I'll shit my pants, and it'll be all on.
Oh, and there was a psychic, like a prominent psychic, coming through to do a talk in St. Louis, and I reached out to him. I said, "You've got to come and check out the McPike Mansion." And the night before his flight, he said something was trying to choke him in his sleep and telling him not to visit.
Oh wow, that's so weird.
He did, and it was right around the time that the owners found a stone infant casket half buried in the
Wow.
Yeah.
I love marketing. So I just that's who I am. I'm like, really?
Well, you're like my husband.
Yeah.
You're
he's that's a great story, and I'll help you promote it, but
you won't believe it. Anyways, those ghost shows are so boring. Yeah. Because you don't know if it's real or not. Where the guys are like, "Oh, it's fine to go." So
for me, it's the pacing. It's too. I don't know. It seems formulaic at this point.
It is. It's like I never liked those shows. Same as like watching a magician on TV. They could fake it so easy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's funny. But I have to say something I've said probably often on this podcast, but I'm a human resources guy, and I have been doing it for 30 years, and I'm so over it. I'd love to leave that. But I'll say to Corey on some Friday nights, and when I've had a shitty week, I'm like, honey, can we watch somebody get murdered? Can I just need to.
Because this is why this is called Horror Heals.
Yeah.
So how you heal yourself with. I think, that makes total sense. I think, but a lot of people that are involved in horror or watching movies or all that stuff probably are a little bit off in some way.
We all are. Yeah, no, I think that's why we're attracted to it, because we're the freaks, mister.
You think that's why? Or what do you think I always ask this on our show, what do you think the psychological reason is for it, really?
I think part of it is feeling like an outsider. I didn't come out of the closet until I was 21, and Kendall knew much earlier in life that, that he was. And so I think it's just you relate to the not just the outsider, but the person who's willing to get up and fight. You know, like
Yeah.
we say final person on the show because we want to be all inclusive, but like the
Oh, like
final
I said,
girl
final
trope.
girl.
The final girl trope. I mean, it's just like you. Of course, you're cheering for for the final girl,
The survivor.
Sometimes
Nancy
I cheer
and-
for the monsters, though. That makes me really sick.
No, I think
Get them. Because some of these teenagers really are like, oh God, they're so boring. Get them out of here.
well, and here's the thing, and obviously this is the last question of the episode, but the last question we always ask is, who is your favorite final person in a horror movie, the survivor? And we had a really interesting one where it was Samara from The Ring, which is like, okay.
Oh my God, that movie scares you know what out of me? It just does. It's like that movie. First of all, I don't have any kids, and I'm scared of little kids. I am. And
We are too.
oh, you are? Yeah. And then
Kids are creepy.
we almost bought a house that looked just that. I said, listen, I don't think I can live here because it really looked like that. And it had a board over it, a great big board. And my husband was like, oh, we'll make it into a bar.
Oh,
and I was
okay.
like, I don't know.
It's a good idea, though. But
It's a cool idea,
yeah.
right? You have a fake mannequin that looks like a bartender that looks like the Ring girl, right? But no, that movie really freaked me.
That's
It
a
still
cool
does.
movie. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't know if she's my favorite survivor, though. I don't know. That's a tough question.
Yeah, put that in the back of your head for now, and then we'll revisit
Maybe
that
it'd
at
be
the end of the
Terrifier
episode.
3, because doesn't he still lives, right? Terrifier, right?
Art?
Oh, yeah. Art.
He
Yeah.
still lives. I just can't really root for these wimpy people, like the
Oh, I
people.
know.
And it's so hard.
It is.
Well, Disney villains into the, I don't know. I guess I root for the villain.
Yeah.
Get him.
Okay.
I love
Can't
when.
even root for Jack Nicholson because he dies. He's all frozen in that maze.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't make it. Yeah, he definitely.
Well,
I
it's
take
funny because I'm a huge. I know it's stereotypical to like the serial shows, but I love Friday the 13th, and I love Adrienne King and what she did in that first movie. But I also love the fact that Jason is the one that takes her down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Even though you
love
love her,
that.
you're like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Mrs. Voorhees is cool, but I love that creepy ass guy that comes out of the water and takes her over
Yeah.
the boat.
You guys go to haunted attractions?
Oh,
yeah.
So what's your
absolutely.
favorites?
Oh gosh, we mentioned Haunted Overload briefly. That was just incredible what they've done as a family to put that together, and it was like,
It's a guy. It's just Eric. He,
okay,
pretty much, but then he has a build team, but he gets his actors to build it. It's like, because when I was at Pennhurst, that's kind of like rich people. They bought the building. They're like, oh, we have multi-millions of dollars. Let's just buy the most expensive stuff and shove it in there. But so it's real expensive to go. But then Eric is just like an artist. He wants to do his art. And so, because when I was at Pennhurst, I said, do you have your scare actors build this stuff? And they're like, no, but that's what Eric does. They're all the regular.
I respect that.
yeah, and the aesthetic
he
there
has
is
ideas, and he makes these models, and then he's like, okay, we're going to build this giant 50-foot skull with smoke, and then this is how we're going to do it. And then the regular
I love that.
people, and most of his team are like little girls, like 5-foot girls, and they make it.
That's so
you
cool.
know?
So we went with our cousins a couple years ago, and I think we were more impressed with the time you spend waiting in line to actually get into the haunted attraction, because everything you're seeing, it's so photogenic, it's so original and crazy. I don't know when you were there if they had an actor that was doing the Headless Horseman like off in the distance,
Yes,
not
they always
anywhere
do that.
close.
So
It's just just the
One of the
attention to
horses
detail.
died, and
chef's
then
kiss.
she got another horse. I'm very close with them because we're right half an hour away from there.
Yeah.
So we have filmed them many times, and the last show that we just put up on Amazon is too long because, to be honest, it's like an hour and a half long because we went there so many times. Like, then we had all this footage, and it was too good to like, oh, well, should we scrap this? No, let's put that in. But so it is a little bit too long. They have like cast parties, and they have these fun things where they all get together and they go down. They get those little cars that kids are on out of the garbage. And they go down a hill in their costumes just for fun in the middle of summer. And we did that. And, they have a lot of fun. We've considered them friends. Eric's never been over the house or anything, but some of the cast has. Like when we have parties, we're like, hey, we just invite everybody,
That's so cool.
And so we know them pretty well. They're one of my favorite haunts. And then my other favorite haunt is Field of Screams in Pennsylvania, because it's so gross and scary and they can touch you. and I almost didn't go because they could touch you. But then somebody said, well, they're only going to touch your ankle or your hair. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I was like pretty new at it. I was like, I don't know about this, but it was so good. It's like, I recommend you guys go to that one. There's two Field of Screams, but only go to the one in Pennsylvania.
Very cool.
We think you should definitely check out The Darkness in St. Louis. It's been
like
around for decades.
Yeah.
I think the guy wants to film with us too. I'm pretty sure that's the one, and we're going to get to it. It's just we can only do so many because it takes us like 3 days to film.
Of course. Yeah.
And it's in the season, so we can only get to so many at the end of the season. We go on the road for 6 weeks. And we put our dogs in boarding. We don't come home. It's exhausting.
Right.
We want to kill ourselves.
Yeah. No, it's a lot.
We tried to film us. We were like, hey, let's film us filming the show and we'll make a little mini documentary. But it was all us bitching and complaining. So we didn't do it. It was like,
that would be us.
Really
we would be like, why are we doing
I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. I don't want to. Oh my God. Like my body hurts.
You miss the animals. Yeah.
Spooky, I'll tell you, one of my internships that I did when I was in college was for a PR company, and they represented Darkness and a couple of their haunted houses. And I don't spook easily. Kendall does. I scare the crap out of them
my God.
all the time. But one of my duties as an intern was to guide people. This was like during the day, but you're still inside this huge, it's an old factory.
It's still scary, right?
And so you're guiding them through, like giving them a tour, and then you got to go back through it by yourself to get back to the other side. That's creepy. And the other thing that only creeped me out a little bit worse was, I don't know if you've heard of Body Worlds, but it's this exhibit where they actually make art out of actual cadavers.
And so I saw that on TV.
I went to a media event there, and then but the person I was interviewing, one of the designers, wasn't there yet, so I left and came back, and just walking through that by myself. Now I'm walking through a sea of corpses was a little weird.
Did you guys hear about the guy in Pennsylvania, the grave robber guy?
Yeah,
no.
It's all over the news. I was going to do a show on it, but then when I was on YouTube, a lot of people have done shows on it. This guy, he's not been convicted yet, but he kept sneaking into this graveyard in Pennsylvania and stealing body parts, skulls and everything. And so he was just taking a crowbar and just opening up, the big mausoleums and stuff. Yeah. And then he was selling them on Instagram, right?
Oh my God.
He sold one skull for $1,000.
Oh my
gosh.
And my dad used to own a pawn shop, and I happen to know that if you sell stolen goods, because my dad would buy used stuff, and sometimes it would be stolen. Then what would happen is the cops will come in and just take it. They will just take it back. So they're going to go to wherever he's in Chicago, wherever he sold that skull, and be like, this is ours now. We're going to take this skull back.
I need this.
Oh my goodness.
I like a lot of true crime too. Anyways, this guy has 400 counts against him, and he's 32.
My gosh.
He's going to jail for a long time because when they caught him, he had a bag. They caught him red-handed, and inside he had 2 baby corpses and skulls. And so it was red-handed. Can he say, he's got it. So they went to his house, and then he had like a half-rotten cadaver hanging from the ceiling and like all these bones and stuff and skulls there. And so they go, is this all you got? Because we know you have a storage unit. He's like, yeah, that's all I got. So they went to the storage unit and there's more. There was like 8 more bodies. So anyways.
Don't go into the crawl space.
Don't. So they're like, what's up with this guy? Was he going to be a serial killer? I don't know. I think he was just trying to make money. Yeah. We probably liked it, like the skulls and stuff.
Sure.
But he probably was like, I could make this for this. Yeah, it just removed himself. Because imagine if it was like your Aunt Hilda.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And they're like, that's my Aunt Hilda. And you got her in the room with a skull.
And I'm not really weird about memorializing the dead, but I get it that a lot of people are. Yeah. And how disrespectful to treat someone that way.
If somebody you know that died, you'd be kind of pissed off about it.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not, because I understand skulls are cool and all that. I get that. But I think the same level, if it was somebody I knew, I'd be
for sure. Yeah.
Tangent.
No, it's so interesting though.
Yeah. So Spooky, I'm curious because I did work as a scare actor for only one night back when I was a teenager.
Only a day? Why?
Well, the fog got to me. The fake fog inside because it was an indoor. I know. And I think it was part of it was the repetition. I was a zombie.
Which one did you work at?
I worked at the Darkness for one night.
Okay, one night.
full makeup, like the whole shebang. But
What was what noise did you make? What part did you do?
I was a zombie. So I came out through a door or whatever and got really close to people and stuff. But I was right next to a fog machine. I had like coal miner's lungs by the time I got to
God.
So one night lasted.
I never been a scare actor because when I was a kid, like only place I went to all the time pretty much was Spooky World, but it never even dawned on me that I could do it. Like it wasn't like, and I like, cause you don't even think about it. You go to these things and you're like, yeah. And you never even think about like, hey, I could get a job here and I could do this. Now it is. I mean, cause they've gotten so much better. Cause it used to be like, like just strobe lights and you're like, oh, this is lame. Yeah. But now it's incredible. Like these people, like their whole theater things. But I would have probably did it, and I have done it like briefly, like I did it Haunted Overload just for fun so we could film it. But it's really hard to scare people. Like I never know what I'm doing. Like I could get made up, but I never know what to do. I have no clue.
We went to Spooky World a few years back with Kendall's half brother and his nephew and two of his nephew's friends. And it was like, I hadn't been to a haunt like that in several years. I was so impressed with the level of the acting and stuff. There were people who were fan-friggin-tastic. And so Kendall was fine, but I was sitting with his nephew and we were just cracking up because we're on the haunted hayride portion. Right. And his two buddies are in the laps of their friend's dad, just shaking their boots. And we're just looking at them cracking up because the actors were jumping on and off the hayride.
Well, a long time ago when I was a kid, Spooky World was different. Spooky World was a big deal, and they had Elvira there, and they would have Alice Cooper there, and they would have, and Bill Maher was announcing it. You could see it on YouTube if you look it up, and it was different. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We were talking to you before we started recording about our original podcast, Family Twist, but when we first visited to come out and meet Kendall's birth family for the first time, there was a convention that's no longer in existence called Rock and Shock in Worcester, Mass. And just happened to be the same weekend we were visiting. And so we went with Kendall's brother and sister and two nephews and
met Kane
and got to tell him the story. And we have a family photo of Kane in the middle with all of us.
And I had literally met my siblings the day before.
Wow.
In person. Yeah. It was bizarre.
That's pretty cool.
So Kane is like a big touchstone, in a lot of ways. But so Spooky, I'm curious because I think when it really dawned on me that the horror heals and horror be good for mental wellness would be the perfect theme for our podcast was when I was at a horror convention and experiencing, as I said, we're the outcasts, we're the freaks and stuff. But when we all come together as a community, we protect each other. Nobody's going to get bullied. It's just everyone's accepted. And so I think, but I sensed that too with haunts, like the people who have been doing the haunts and stuff together forever, even though they're just pals. It's like a family.
We all say the same thing when you talk to them and you interview them, because I like to interview the scare actors because that's my thing. Like I really love the scare actors because they usually say really funny things like, oh, we go around the hunt like how you did. We'll go around with the owner and he'll be like, this is this, and we make this way, and we make this way. And then we get sound bites from the hunt actors and they just say really crazy things. And if they have nothing to say, I'll just say, can you do what you do in the camera? And so it's really, really awesome. But like they all say the same thing. When you ask them a question, they're like, this is our family. Our hunt's different. We're like a family. But they all say, they all have this, they all very attached to each other, and it's camaraderie, and they make friends and they feel accepted. And some of them have autism, some of them don't. Some of them are just crazy. It really helps them. And a lot of them say too, it gets out by being a haunt actor. It gets out all that aggression. They can just let it out, and then they can be a nice person the rest of the time.
Yeah.
For sure. Surprised how many nurses and medical professionals are haunt actors. Because they have to be so nice, right?
Yeah.
How they're all in the hospital. They should probably have to deal with a lot of stuff.
But you can get all your stuff out by scaring the crap out of people.
I scared it, because this one lady was like, I work as a nurse, a burn nurse in the burn unit. These are my real bandages that she had all over her.
Wow.
And so it was really, really funny. I was like, okay,
Wow.
And I know I keep bringing up the Family Twist podcast, but we're very close with, on Kendall's birth mother's side, his sister. And we've got a text chain going with, she's a NICU nurse. 3 of her besties are as well. So we've got this text chain going with we call them the NYU nurses.
Right.
And
No, we call them the NH babes.
That's right. We changed it from that.
Sorry.
From that, yes, we changed
Sorry.
it. New Hampshire.
And we're part of that
New
too.
Hampshire
So it's not
babes,
sexist.
Yeah, no,
Right.
they were.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I don't
They
care.
were there with me. We all went to the beach together and got a place together for my 50th. They've become like our besties, but they're getting into horror.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that would be
cool.
something that they would consider doing. I'm going to put that into the text
You
today.
should
Like,
put it out there because they
Yeah.
have to be so nice, and it's so hard to be nice all the time. You know what I mean?
And hard to deal with
Crazy
babies.
people.
You know.
And most of the people that are harder to deal with are the relatives than more than the sick people,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
yeah, they could get out all that aggression, right? Because the sick
Yeah.
people, not the sick people, the relatives are always like, "Oh my God, you got to tell it."
Absolutely. Yeah.
We won't go to them. That's just a bunch of grumbling.
Someone said that dealing with a sick baby is hard enough, but dealing with an irrational parent is 10 times worse.
I believe it. I believe it because the people are going to go crazy and like,
Exactly.
you know, wow, no.
okay, that was part 1 with our conversation with Spooky Kisses. I love episodes like this because it really just feels like horror fans sitting around talking about the weird stuff we all love. Haunted houses, creepy movies, conventions, being terrified as kids, all that stuff. In part 2, we keep talking about haunt culture, horror fandom, conventions, and why horror people always seem to find each other no matter where they are. Until next time, remember, is horror good for mental wellness? Of course it is. The Horror Heals podcast is presented and produced by Mosaic Multimedia, LLC.